Alright, so let's go ahead and start row 23 now. So we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And now we're on the back side of our work. What we're going to do is put 2 single crochets into the first stitch. 1, 2, we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, like that. Now what we're going to do is skip this double, skip this double, skip this chain space, and we're going to single crochet into this double right here after this first chain space. Like that. Now we're going to start the repeat here of this row till we get down to the point anyways. So we're just going to chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to skip this chain space, this double, this chain space, and single crochet on top of the next double. So if you look, we chain 5 and we just kind of skip this double and the 2 chain spaces in between it. All right, we're going to do this all the way down. So we're going to chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to skip this double and the 2 chain spaces and single crochet into the next. Again, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and skip this double and these 2 chain spaces and single into the next. So go ahead and repeat this until we get down here to the point, and this is where I'll meet back up with you. All right, I'm coming to the point of the shawl. So on the previous row, for the point, we did a double, chain 1, double, chain 1, double, all into that chain space down here. So this is our whole point. And I just single crocheted into the double crochet right before this whole thing right here. So what we're going to do now is chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to work in the center double crochet of these 3. So we're skipping this chain space, this double crochet, and this chain space, and into this double crochet we're going to work 3 singles. So there's 1, 2, and 3. So that's the point there. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to skip this double here and single into the next. And if you look, it's the same. We skipped this double and that chain space and that chain space, and we're going to chain 5 and skip this double, single into the next. So we're doing the same thing that we did on the other side. You can see that it all matches up correctly. We got our 3 single crochets in the middle, double crochet there, and these are all in the correct spots. I'm just making sure myself too. All right, got to go ahead and continue with that same chain 5 that we've been doing. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we are skipping this double and the spaces beside it and single into the next double. All right, go ahead and repeat this until you get to the end of this side. All right, and I'll meet back up with you there. All right, I'm coming to the end of row 23, and I single crocheted here in my last double before this last chain space. So what we are going to do is chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to end by skipping this chain space, skipping this double and this double, and in the last double we're going to put 2 single crochets into that last double. So there's 1 and there's 2. I'm going to keep this color, and we'll start row 24, right chain in 1, and turning our work. And now we are on the front side. Let me take a quick peek at my row here on top. Okay, let's begin. So I am not going to put anything at all into this chain 1, or this single crochet, or this single crochet. Nothing. I'm going to skip them. I have this chain 1 on my hook. It's going to count as a stitch, the turning chain, and we'll work into it later. But I'm not putting anything into it, into this either one of these single crochets. I'm going to jump straight over here to this first chain space, and I'm going to work 9 single crochets into it. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to skip this single and jump directly over into the next chain space, and I'm working 9 single crochets into that space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And this is what we're going to do all the way down until we get to the point down here. Is we're just going to skip the single, jump right over into the chain space, and just work 9 single crochets into the space. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and there's 9 again. We're going to skip this single, jump over to the next, and put 9 single crochets into that. And you can see how it's kind of popping out here at the top. That's why I didn't want to put any stitches there. But don't worry, we'll take care of that. We'll take care of that later. Alright. We will take care of that. Yep. Alright. So we're going to continue this all the way down, working 9 single crochets in each one of these chain 5 spaces. And so we make it here to where we put 3. So I'm going to finish up 9 here, and then we'll be at the point, and that's where I'll be back up with you. Alright, so I have made it down here to the point where we put 3 single crochets in it, the last row. What we're going to do is the middle single crochet, so not this one but the next one, we're going to go into that one and put 3 single crochets into that one. So there's 1, 2, and there's 3, like that. And then we're going to start again, doing the same thing over here that we just did over here, jumping over to the chain space and working 9 single crochets through the chain space. I know that might look funny, but we'll fix it next round. We'll make it pointy again, hopefully. All right, so just continue 9, skipping the single here, 9, 9 in all the chain spaces, and I'll meet up with you at the end of this row. All right, so I'm coming to the end of row 24. 24, and it's okay if these are wavy. And what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna switch colors here. I'm gonna go back to this green color that I used down here. So to switch colors here, if you are going to. If not, we just want to end by slip stitching into the very first single crochet. All right, we're not gonna put no stitch there. We're just gonna slip stitch like that. Yeah. I'm just gonna pull my other yarn through there. My new color when I slip stitch. So I'm gonna go in. So just go in and slip stitch in your last stitch. Let me drop that. And there we go. And then we'll be able to start row 25. Let me get this tied up. All right, so now we're going to go and start row 25. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. I'm sorry about all these tails. I'll get them gone next time. Around here. All right, we're going to start off by putting a double crochet back into this very first stitch. All right, just yarn over and double crochet back into it. Just one double. And now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now this group of, we have groups of 9 single crochet. What we're going to do is find the middle one, so that would be the 5th one, and single crochet into it like that. And then we would chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. And then we jump over here to the next section of 9 and then the middle one again. So the 5th one, 1, 2, 5, single crochet into that middle of the group of 9. Like that. And again, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And we're going to repeat this. Jump over here to your next group and in the middle one, single crochet into it, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, jump over here, find your middle one, and single crochet. So we're going to do this all the way down until we get to the point of our shawl, and then I'll meet you there and I'll show you what we're going to do there. Like that. Now when you turn your work over back to the front side, you're going to notice that these chain spaces are waving. See that, how they're curling? And now that's supposed to do that, right? Just some added decoration, I guess. Yeah. So if it's looking like that, that's normal. So just continue this doing chain 3 and single crocheting in the middle stitch of the group of 9. And I'll meet down right down here at the point where we put these 3 single crochets. Alright, so I'm coming down here to the point here. So I did a single crochet in the middle of this group of 9. Now we're going to do a chain of 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Now in the middle stitch of this group of 3 here, and that we're using as a corner, we're going to go and work 1 double crochet. Did I get the middle one? Yay, I did. There's 1 double, and then we're going to chain 3 and go back in and work another double crochet in that same spot. There we go. Okay, and we're going to start again. Chain 3, and come over here to these 9 and work a single in the middle one. And we're going to chain 3, and we're going to repeat on this side what we just did on the other side. Jump over here, single crochet in the middle. Hard to see on the back side, isn't it? Like that. All right, so I'm going to repeat this all the way down this side until I make it down here on the end, and that's where I'll meet back up with you. All right, so I'm coming to the end of row 25. So I just did my last single crochet here. I'm going to chain 3, and I'm going to end by double crocheting way down here into that slip stitch, or that slip stitch down here we did before. And just like that, I'm keeping this color on my hook. Make sure that looks okay. Yeah. All right. This would be 26. Then we're going to, excuse me, chain 1 and turn and be on the front side of our work. We're going to go back into this double crochet, and we're just going to work 1 double crochet into it. Like that. Then we're going to chain 1, and we're going to go into this chain 2 space here. We're going to work 2 double crochets into this space. There's 1 and 2. Then we're going to chain 1, and we're going to jump to the next chain 2 space here and work 2 double crochets. Chain 1. Yeah, jump to the next chain 2 space here, or chain 3 space, sorry, and 2 doubles. So this is what we're going to do all the way down until we get to the point of our shawl. Is we're going to chain 1 and put 2 doubles into the next chain space. Chain 1, 2 doubles into the next chain space. I'm going to continue this pattern, and I'll meet back up with you at the point of our shawl. Alright, so I've come to the chain 2 space down here on my point, or chain 3 space, this chain space here of the point. Okay, I'm going to chain 1 after my last 2 double crochets here. Now in the point space, I'm going to work a double crochet. Let's work 2 doubles. 2 doubles there in that spot. Then we're going to chain 2 and work 2 more doubles into that spot. 1 and 2. So that would be the point now this time around. 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 doubles. And now we're going to do the same thing on this side that we were doing on the other side. So we will start off with the chain 1 and jump to this space, next space, and work 2 double crochets into it. Chain 1, jump to your next space right here, and 2 double crochets. So I'm just repeating what we did on the other side, and I'll meet back up with you when we get to the end of the row. All right, I'm coming to the end here. 2 doubles here, chained 1. I'm at my last chain space now. Put 2 doubles into that one. And then chain 1, and I'm going to end by putting a double crochet into the top of the last double crochet. Just 1. I'm going to switch colors here, so just 1 double. I'm going to switch over to blue. All right, let's go ahead and start row 26, I do believe, I think. Chain 1 and turn. We are on the back. This is row 27, I'm sorry. Back side of our work now. And we're going to put 3 double crochets into the first stitch. 1, 2, 3, 1 double into this chain 1 space. One double into the next 2 doubles. That. Now we're going to put 2 doubles into this chain 1 space. A double in the next 2 stitches. Two doubles into the next chain 1 space, and this is the pattern that we're going to repeat now. It's going to be 2 doubles in each chain 1 space and 1 double in each of the double crochets. And then 2 doubles into the next space, and we're going to repeat this until we get to the point of our shawl. Double in each of these. And 2 doubles in the chain 1. All right, I'll meet up with you at the point of the shawl. All right, I've made it to the point here. Here's my chain 2 space. I double crocheted in each of those double crochets. In the chain 2 space, we're going to do the 2 doubles for the point, chain of 2, and 2 more doubles back into that same space. There's 1 more. All right. So there's the point. Now we're just going to repeat on this side what we did on the other side, working a double crochet in each of the double crochets. And then 2 double crochets in the chain 1 spaces until we get to near the end. I'm going to meet up with you at this last chain 1 space, all right? Right here. Oh, right here. That's where I'm going to meet up with you, this very last one. So just keep repeating this pattern until you get to your very last chain 1 space, and I'll see you there. Remember, we're putting 2 doubles in the chain 1s and 2 doubles, or 1 double in each of the doubles. Alright, so I'm coming to the end here, and here is my last chain one space. Now we're only going to put one double crochet into that last chain one space because we only put one double crochet in our first chain one space. And now we're going to end by putting 3 double crochets into the top of our last stitch. And I'm going to switch colors here on the third. There's 2 on the last double crochet. I think I'll go to, see what color I haven't used in a while. I actually, oh, see, this is the only row of that. Well, there it is. I'm going to switch to light purple. Let me get that switched up. Alright, so now we're going to start row 28. So we're going to chain 1 and turn, and we will be on the front side of our work. Alright. Now we're going to start off. And let me see here. We're going to start with two double crochets into that very first stitch. So there's 1, and then there's 2. We're gonna go back into that same stitch again, but we're not gonna do a complete double crochet. We're actually gonna do a double crochet 2 together over 4 stitches, which means we're gonna start the first part of it here, and then we will skip 2 and finish it here. So it's over 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches, but the middle 2 are skipped, so it's just a double crochet 2 together. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to yarn over and go back into that same stitch and drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops on your hook, and then we're going to skip 2, skip, yarn over and go into the, skip your 2 into the next one, drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops, and you'll have 3 loops that remain, and yarn over and go through all 3 loops on your hook. Try not to drop them like I just did. That's embarrassing. Just like that. And now what we're going to do is a chain of 2. 1, 2, and again we're going to do a double crochet 2 together over 4 stitches again. So, but we're going to start in the same stitch here that we just finished in, which means we're going to start in this one, skip this one, and finish in this one. So that is 4 stitches that we are going to work into. So remember, we chained 2, so we're going to yarn over, go into this stitch here, same one, drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2, yarn over and skip 2, skip, go into the next, drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2, and then the remaining 3, just like that. And this is what we're going to kind of repeat the whole way down. So again, we're going to skip 2, or chain 2, sorry, chain 2, and then do the double crochet 2 together, but working it over 4 stitches. So starting back in this first one here, skipping these 2, and finishing it in this one right here. So yarn over, go into that same one, drop a loop, and then yarn over and go to the first 2, and then yarn over and skip 2, skip, go into the next one, drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2, and yarn over and go through the remaining 3, and again we're gonna chain 2 and repeat this until we get to near the point of our shawl down there. So again, go back into this very first one, yarn over and go through the 2, yarn over and skip 2 in the next one, drop a loop, yarn over and go through 2, and the remaining 3, chain 2. Again, yarn over, go into that same stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, skip 2, skip, skip, yarn over and go to the next one, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, and the remaining 3, chain 2, and I'm going to repeat this pattern all the way down, and I'll see you when we get down here somewhere. I'll meet back up with you. Alright, I'm coming to the point down here, so let's see what we got, what we're going to do here. So I just finished out here, and I have 1 stitch left before the chain 2 space. So we're going to chain 2 here after that, and we're going to yarn over and go back into the same spot as the last one, draw up a loop and yarn over and go through the first 2. Then we're going to yarn over and we're going to go into the chain space and draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2, and yarn over, go through the remaining 3. So we just did another one, but it was in part of it was in the chain space there. So now what we're going to do is chain 2, and now in the chain space we're just going to do a regular double crochet 2 together. So we're going to yarn over, go into the space, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, and then again through the space, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2 and the remaining 3, and then we're going to repeat what we did over here. So we will start with the chain of 2, and let me look and see what we did here. All right, then we're going to yarn over, go back into this chain space and draw up a loop and yarn over and go through the first 2, and then we only skip 1 stitch here, and we yarn over, so skip that one and we yarn over and go into the next and draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 and the remaining 3, and that should be the same. All right, and now we're going to continue on this side doing what we did on the other side. Chain 2, yarn over, go back into that same space, drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2, then we're going to yarn over and skip 2, skip, skip, and go into the next one, drop a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2 and the remaining 3, chain 2, and repeat. So I'm going to continue this until I get to near the end, skip 2 and the next one, and that's where I'll meet back up with you. All right, at the end of this row. Looks good. All right, coming to the end, we're just gonna end it the same way that we started here. So yarn over, I just finished one out here, I'm sorry, gotta chain 2, and then yarn over, go back into that same stitch, draw up a loop and yarn over and go through 2, and then we're going to go into the last stitch and draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 and the remaining 3, and then we're going to finish out this last stitch. We just did that right there. We're not going to chain. We're going to finish out this last stitch here by putting 2 more double crochets into it, just like we did in the beginning. So there's 1 and there's 2. All right, I'm going to keep the same color. I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work, and now we are on the back side, I do believe. Yep, row 29, I think. Yeah, I hope so. If I'm getting my rows wrong, I'm sorry. All right, let's see what we're going to do now. All right, we're going to go back into this very first stitch here. Let me look at what we got going on. I just got to check to make sure that it don't get too wonky that I can't block it. You know how it goes. All right, I'm going to put 2 double crochets into the first stitch. Just 2. There's 1 and there's 2. All right, Then what I'm going to do is put 1 double crochet into the next stitch. It's just a regular double crochet. Like that. Okay. Now I'm going to chain 1 this time. We're going to chain 1 right here. And we're going to do a double crochet 2 together again. But we're going to work it over this double crochet 2 together and this double crochet 2 together, skipping this chain space. All right, so we only chained 1 here, so let's yarn over and go into the top of this double crochet 2 together, drop a loop and yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. Then we're going to yarn over, skip this chain 2 space and go into this double crochet 2 together, the top of it, and drop a loop and yarn over and go through the first 2 and the remaining 3, like that. All right, and then what we're going to do is chain 2, 1, 2, and we're going to go back into this spot, this double crochet 2 together, the one we just finished in. I'm going to yarn over, go into it and drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops, and then we're going to yarn over again, skip this chain space and go into the top of the next double crochet 2 together, drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2, and yarn over and go through the remaining 3, just like that. And then again we will chain 2. This is kind of what we're going to repeat now till we get near the end. So we're gonna go back into this same double crochet 2 together that we just finished in. We're gonna yarn over, go into it and drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops, and then we're gonna skip this chain space and go into the next double crochet 2 together. We're gonna yarn over, go into it, drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2, and the remaining 3, chain 2 and repeat. So it's kind of like the previous row, except for instead of skipping 2 stitches, we're just skipping 2 chains and we're going into the double crochet 2 togethers from the previous row. So we chain 2, again we're going to yarn over and go back into the same double crochet 2 together that we just finished in, drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2, yarn over and skip the chain and go into the next double crochet 2 together, drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2, and yarn over and go through the remaining 3, chain 2 and repeat. And then it kind of starts looking a little bit like that. All right, so I'm going to continue and I'll meet back up with you at the point of the shawl. All right, so I am at the point here, and this is kind of what it should be looking like. Similar, I guess. All right. This is like a splatter stitch kind of. All right. Here I am. I'm at my chain 2 spot. So I just finished this out, was able to finish one out right here in this last double crochet 2 together, and we have a chain 2 here, a chain 2 here, and this regular double crochet. All right, so now we're going to chain 2, and we're going to go back into, right here is the center point. We're going to go back into this one, yarn over, go into it, drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2. Then we're going to yarn over and go into the center point here, drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 and the remaining 3. Then we're going to chain 2. Then we're going to double crochet back into that center point like that, and then we're going to chain 2. Then we're going to double crochet again back at that center point like that, and now we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to go back. We're going to do the double crochet 2 together. We're going to go back into the spot, drop a loop and yarn over and go through the first 2 loops, And then we're going to yarn over and go into the next double crochet, 2 together, which is out here, draw up a loop and yarn over, go through the first 2 and the remaining 3. So let's take a quick look at what we did here. So if we look, we have a double crochet 2 together on the side here and on the side here, and then there in the center point we have 2 regular double crochets and part of the double crochet 2 togethers with chain 2s in between them. So you got 1, 2, 3 chain 2s there, 1, 2, 3, 2 regular doubles, and then half of the double crochet 2 togethers. See, the half is sticking there and the other half goes over here. Alright, so that is rounding the point, and we're going to go ahead and do the same thing what we've been doing on this other side on this side. So again, we will chain 2, yarn over, go back into that same spot that we just finished in, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops, yarn over and skip this chain space, go into the next double crochet 2 together, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2 and the remaining 3, just like that. Chain 2 and repeat. Remember, we're just doing the same thing that we did on the other side. Alright, I'll see you at the end. Alright, so I've made it to the end here, and I have 2 stitches left here, so we're gonna chain just 1 here because that's what we did on the other side, and then we're gonna do a double crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 double crochets into the last stitch. Okay, let's see here. Now, I wanted to keep this stitch as clean as possible, so I'm not going to change the color of my yarn here. I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and we're 32 front side of our work, I think. I'm going to kind of go across it with single crochet here, so we are on the front side of our work. So let's go ahead and do see, I'm gonna be working singles, so let's do 2 singles into the first stitch. Oops, 1 more in that one, so 2 in the first, and then we're gonna put 1 in the next double crochet, 1 in the next double crochet, and then we have this chain 1 space. We're going to put 1 in that chain 1 space, and then we're going to put 1 on top of the double crochet 2 together. Alright, and then we have a chain 2 here, and we're going to go ahead and put 2 single crochets through that chain 2 space, like that, and 1 on top of the double crochet 2 together, and then 2 into the chain 2 space. So this is what we're going to do all the way down. 2 single crochets in each of the chain 2 spaces, and 1 on top of each of the double crochet 2 togethers until we get to the point of our shawl. 2, here's 1, 2, and 1. All right, let's see, is that working out okay? I think it is. All right, I'll see you down here at the point of the shawl. All right, so I am at the point here, and I single crocheted and this double crochet 2 together, and you can see that this chain space here, the middle chain space, is the point there. So let's single crochet 2 times into the next chain space. Why don't we skip this double crochet here and directly go into the chain space here and do a double crochet twice. Yeah. And then chain 2, go back in and do a double crochet twice again into the same chain space. Like that. And that will become our new point. Alright, that looks good. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to skip this double crochet here. We're not going to put no stitch in it. And in this chain 2 space, we're going to work 2 singles. And then 1 single on top of the double crochet 2 together. 2 singles into the chain 2 space. Maybe. There we go. And 1 on top of the double crochet 2 together. So we're just going to repeat the same thing that we did on the other side, on this side. Working 2 singles in the chain 2 spaces. 1 on top of the double crochet 2 together. Let me look at that real quick. See if it looks weird or not. I don't think it looks any weirder than anything else I've done so far, so we'll let it pass. Alright, so we'll continue doing that, and I'll meet back up with you here near the end. Alright, so I'm coming to the end here, and I did my single crochet and this double crochet 2 together. And remember, we only chained 1 here, so we're just going to put 1 single there. And we got 3 stitches left. Alright, let's put a single into the next 2. And then 2 singles into the last. I'm going to switch colors here. So there's 1. And on my second single, I'm going to switch here. I'm going to go to this blue. So I'm going to get that switched out, and I'll meet back up with you. Alright, so now we're going to start row 31. So we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and we will be on the back side of our work. Okay. Alright, in this first stitch here, this first single crochet, we are going to work a single crochet, and another single crochet. So that's 2 single crochets in that very first stitch. Now we're going to chain 1, we're going to skip 1 and a single crochet into the next. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet into the next. So this is what we're going to do all the way down. Chain 1, skip 1, single into the next. Chain 1, skip 1, single into the next. And we'll go ahead and repeat this until we get to the point of the shawl, and that's where I'll be back up with you. Chain 1, skip 1, and single. Alright, I've made it here to my chain 2 space. I did a single crochet and I have one double right here. So I'm going to chain 1, skip that stitch, and single crochet into the chain space. Then I'm going to chain 2, go back in the same space and single crochet like that. So there we got our point there. And then we're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. So we chain 1, skip this stitch here, single crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1, and a single, chain 1, skip 1, and single. And we're going to do this until we get to the end of the row. Alrighty, coming to the end of row 31 here. So I got 2 stitches left here at the end. Chain 1, skip 1, 2 singles in the last one, and I'm going to change colors on the last one. So I'm going to go in, oops, drop a loop, and I think I'm going to go with purple. Alright, let me change this up. Alrighty, row 32. Chain 1. Turn our work on the front side. We are. Now, I'm going to move these scissors. I'd probably cry if I snagged this up right now. At this point, I have been recording for 3 days solid. Yeah, it's hardcore. Alright. Let's do this then. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and put, let's see what we're going to do here. You know what I think I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to do half double. Go in here. Let me think. Is that what I want to do? Is that what I want to do? Is it half double here? Yeah, it is. I'm going to put 2 half doubles here in this first stitch. So there's 1. And there is 2. Like that. So we got 2 half doubles. Alright, now we're going to chain 1. We are going to skip the single crochet and we're going to work in the chain 1 spaces. We're going to be working in the chain 1 spaces. We're going to work a puff in that chain 1 space. So we're going to yarn over, go into the space, drop a loop. We want to do that 4 times total. So that would be number 1. Again, we yarn over, go into the same space, drop a loop, that's 2. Yarn over, go into the same space, drop a loop, that's 3. Yarn over and go into the same space, drop a loop, that's 4 times. You should have 9 loops on your hook. Yarn over and go through all 9. And we're going to do a chain of 1. And then we are going to skip this single crochet and we are going to work a puff into the next chain 1 space. So we're going to yarn over and go into that space, drop a loop 4 times total. So that's number 1. Again, yarn over, go into the space, drop a loop, that's 2. Yarn over, go into the space, drop a loop, that's 3. Yarn over, go into the space, drop a loop, that is 4. 9 loops, yarn over, go through all 9, chain 1 to lock it. And this is what we're going to do all the way down until we get to our point. So we're just going to be skipping this single and we're only working in the chain 1 spaces, putting a puff. Doing the yarn over 4 times. So that's 1. Do that again. Yarn over, going through the space 4 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 9 loops, yarn over and go through all 9, chain 1, and we're going to do it again. Skip this single, go into your next chain 1 space, yarn over and make your puff. like that. So we're going to keep repeating that all the way down, and I'll meet with you down here at the corner or the point of our shawl. Alright, so I have made it down here to the point. You can see right here is where we chain 2. So like always, we're going to skip this single crochet, and we're going to go, let's go into this chain 2 space, do a puff, like that, chain 1 to lock it, and then let's just go in and do another puff into that space. Chain 1. There we go. So that little spot to connect, that's our corner. Alright, we're going to make it work. Now we're going to continue doing the same thing up this other side here till we make it near the end. So again, we already chained 1 there, so skip the single crochet, and then in every chain 1 space we puff. There is 4, chain 1 to lock it, skip the single and go to the next chain space. Alright, I'm going to meet you at the end of this row. I'm going to switch colors again though. Alright, see you in a second. Alrighty, coming to the end of row 32. And I have 1 chain space left, so I'm going to go ahead and puff into that. Like that, and chain 1. Give me 1 second here. Sometimes I just have to look. Alright. Looks like I chained 1 again. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. I didn't chain 1. Chain 1 there. I'm sorry. Skip that 1 stitch, and then the last stitch we're going to put 2 half doubles. I'm going to switch my yarn though this time. On the second one, what I'm going to do is go back to this blue color. Alright, I'm going to get that switched up. Alright, row 33 now. I changed colors and I chained 1, and I'm going to turn my work, and we are on the back side. Okay. What are we going to do here? So we got 2 half doubles here from the previous row. Half double is my least favorite stitch because I can't see them very well. Let's put 2 half doubles into the first stitch here. There's 1 and 2, and then chain 1, and then single crochet into this space. Alright, so it was 2 half doubles, chain 1, and single into the space. And now we're going to chain 1, skip the puff, and single into the space. Chain 1, skip the puff, single into the space. So it's pretty similar to what we did down here with the same color, 2 rows below. Chain 1, skip the puff, single crochet into the space. So we're going to go and repeat this until we get to the point of the shawl and show you how to round that corner. that. Okay. Alright, I'm at the corner. So I did a single crochet in that space. Gonna chain 1. And here's the 2 puffs that are at the point, not the corner. We got a chain 1 there. Go into that space and single crochet. Chain, let's chain 2 right there. And then go back in and do another single crochet. Here we go. That's our point now for this row. Alright, now we're just gonna repeat over here what we've been doing over here, which is the chain 1, skip 1, skip the puff, single crochet in the space, chain 1, skip the puff, single crochet into the space, and repeat this, and I'll meet back up with you near the end of this row. Alright, coming to the end of the row here, did a single crochet in that chain 1 space. I'm going to chain 1, skip 1, and I'm going to put 2 half doubles into the last stitch. I'm going to switch colors here on the second half double. So there's 1. And I'm going to go to this blue. Alright, let me get that changed up. Alright, starting row 35. I sure hope I got my row numbers right. Chain 1, turn. I'm going to do puff stitches again. Okay, start out with the 2 half doubles into that first stitch. 1, 2. Now, I know there's another half double somewhere, but I can't find it. So I'm just going to skip that. And we are going to go directly into this chain 1 space here. And we are going to do a puff. The same way we did puffs before. And we're going to chain 1 to lock it. And again, we're going to do kind of like we did the puff stitch row. Skip the single, and then the next chain space, which will be right on top of the next puff in it. Chain 1 to lock it. And again, skip the single and then the chain 1 space, puff in it. Chain 1, and we're going to repeat this same pattern until we get to the point down there, and that's where I'll meet back up with you. Looking like. Alright, see you at the point. Alright, so I've made it to the point here of my maybe yarn's all twisted. Alright, so I've made it to the point here of the shawl, and here's this chain 2 space. And we're going to do the same thing that we did with this row. So remember, you chain 1 after this last puff to lock it, and then we're going to go into this space here, and we're going to do another puff. Like that, and then we're going to chain the 1 to lock it and chain again. Alright, for the point. And then I'm going to go back into that same spot and do another puff. So it's just like the purple puff row we just did, or the purple one I just did. I'm not sure what color yours is going to be, but I can't wait to see it. There we go. Did we chain 2 down there? Or did we chain 1? Oh well, it doesn't matter. We chain 2 here. Then we're gonna chain 1. All right, and then we're just gonna repeat the same process on the other side until we get to, you know, to the end. So in the chain 1 spaces, puffing in the chain 1 spaces. Chain 1 the lock and puff again. All right, I'll meet you at the end of this row. All right, so I'm coming to the end of row 34. And now what I'm going to do, we got 3 stitches left there. I don't know, that's why I hate half doubles, I can't tell. Anyways, we're just going to go ahead and put 3 half double crochets into the last stitch. So there's 1. And there's 2. And on this last one, I'm going to switch colors on this last half double. I'm going to go to this green. Alright, so let me get this switched up, and I'll be right back.